State Bank of India has posted a net profit of 17,035 crore. To talk about it, we have with us State Bank of India Chairman Dinesh Khara. Welcome to ET Now. My first question would be to look at a point of view of the fact that the rate State Bank of India is growing. This time the growth is around 1%. But if you talk about the number, it is over 17,000 crore. How should one look at it?
No, one has to look at the growth has to be seen in the context of the profitability also. So finally, the number which we have shown has to be seen in the context of the overall macro environment. And considering the overall macro environment, I feel quite satisfied with this number. Yes, of course, it's our effort to always put in our best and try and see that how best we can improve even these numbers.
Right. So loan loss provisions particularly has been elevated both YOY as well as QOQ. There is an elevation of 70% on yearly basis, and on quarterly basis it is over 37%. Why is so?
See, one, of course, when it comes to loan loss provisions, it would be better if at all we compare it on a YOY basis, because invariably in the quarter end of maybe at the year end, there is a situation where whatever recoveries have happened during the year, they all get appropriated, and that is the reason why these numbers actually look quite depressed at the end of the year. But having said that, in this particular case we have to see it that we have the provision which is essentially for the aging, and since our loan book is growing, that is the reason why we have grown almost about 15.5% as far as our loan book is concerned on a YOY basis. So that is one of the reasons why the aging provisions have also gone up. The other small aberration has actually seen in terms of the unsecured credit, particularly our express credit. In some of the states there was a delay in repayment of payment of the salaries, and that is the reason why we had seen some kind of elevated number in terms of our unsecured loan book. Having said that, I must also mention that out of this 7,900 crore worth of provisioning which has been done, we have already recovered 7,900 crores of the slippages which we have seen. Almost about 1,600 plus crore have already been recovered between 30th June and now. So I think it is an ongoing process, but as far as there are no concerns, no reasons to be really alarmed about this number, and things are much within control, and we are hopeful to demonstrate the similar kind of a trajectory which we have demonstrated in the previous years going forward also.
How much of the factor has been seasonality in this quarter?
Seasonality, of course, when it comes to agriculture, we invariably get to see some kind of a seasonality here. And as I mentioned that whatever recoveries are being made, it will actually start, we will start from almost ground zero. And that is the reason why we compare only YOY, particularly when it comes to the first quarter. So that is the seasonality effect. That is the reason why we do that.
In terms of credit growth, corporate growth has seen quite a traction over 15%. Do you see this momentum will continue this year? There will be more growth on corporate side?
I hope to see this coming through, particularly the kind of focus which is there on PLI, the kind of focus which is there on manufacturing, and on the top of it we have got the pipeline which is as strong as about 4.6 trillion. So that is something which gives me a hope that we will get to see decent traction in the corporate book, and particularly the mid-corporate book.
Considering the run rate which you are in, and you always give example of economy growing and vis-a-vis the credit growth is there, do you foresee any reason for change in guidance of this particular year?
No, I think I expect that our expectation is that economy should be growing at about 7.5%. And 4% is the expected inflation, 4 to 4.5%, so which actually brings it to about 13, and then we normally grow about 2 to 3% more than that. So I think on that particular count, I expect that our loan book should be growing somewhere at the rate of about 15 to 16%.
Although on QOQ basis there is some dip in NIM's part, but you have been able to maintain consistently over 3.2%. That was the guidance which you gave last time. What is the bank's strategy that you want to grow but not at the cost of profitability?
See, we want to grow. See, we have to balance multiple factors, and while I say we have to balance multiple factors, we have to balance the interests of multiple stakeholders. And obviously, the very important stakeholders are our shareholders. So we have to create value for them, and that is the reason why our effort is always to grow, but not at the cost of our profitability.
Right. You have just mentioned that one of the numbers which I want our viewers to also note, that in the term which you were in last 4 years, the profitability part, the net profit was 1.63 trillion, and overall before that it was 1.46 lakh crore. What is the unfinished agenda, I would say, that Dinesh Khara still has?
My ambition was to see that this bank generate a profit after tax of 1 trillion. To my mind, we are on track, and hopefully we should get to see that number soon.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.